Hello and welcome to Knox Basketball Online. Today's episode brought to you by KTS Recycling. They are still running and active for all of your waste management needs, so head to their website and their social media pages and click and support them. If you missed it yesterday, we gave you two brilliant ball handling workouts that you can do. One of them was by two-time NBA MVP Stephen Curry. But today we've got something off the court for you. Simon Wigg is back to help you stay strong and stay ready to go once we do eventually get back to basketball. So let's get straight back into it.
Hello, Simon Wigg from Wiggs Physiotherapy here again. Want to keep going with some exercises to keep you guys busy while we're all indoors. We're going to work today mainly on our glutes to try and help activate them, which in turn helps a lot of our other lower limb injuries. Before we do any sort of isolated glute work, it's a nice way to do some activation and some warm-up. And it's a nice functional exercise as a crab walk. Notice that we're using a band. Bands today are quite cheap, readily available in most of your larger department stores. And look, you don't need a lot of room to do this exercise. It's a lateral motion. Try not to lead with the toe, lead with the outside of the foot. Dean's doing a great job there with a slight knee bend, making sure that you're keeping tension in the band at all time. The feet are never coming together. There's always spacing. And it's just a great way to do up and down a few times just to get the body ready for exercise. First one is a bridge where we're pushing equally through both legs. Notice that Dean is trying to keep his legs apart and pelvis is elevating up off the floor. And you might hold that for a count of 3 and then really slow on the way down. Don't just flop, go slowly on the way down. Good. To add a level of complexity to this and increase your load, maybe using a rubber band around the knees, which you then try and pull apart to about shoulder width, switching core on as per the previous one, and then lifting up into a bridge position. Again, hold for a count of 3, a lot slower on the way down. To isolate a little bit more to a muscle called glute medius as against the rear glute max, lying on your side, and we do a clam. We're hinging from the ankles and from the hip joint, making sure that we're not rotating backwards. We're staying side on so that the hip and shoulder is facing the ceiling. Once again, nice and slow on the way down. Take it up, 3 count, and very slow on the way down. As per our previous exercise, you can increase the level of effort or load by once again using a band around the knees, making sure core is activated and keeping everything side on. If you don't have a band, just side lying, making sure you're leading with the outside of the ankle and the hip. Once again, trying to avoid any sort of rotation backwards. Holding it a few inches away just so that there's daylight between the thighs. Nice and slow. Hold, then down. You can make this even harder by doing small circles, both clockwise and anti-clockwise. Or maybe even writing the alphabet, larger circles, and writing the alphabet, A through to Z, and a good way to measure how strong you are is how far you get through the alphabet. Another progression can be done with a band lying on your side and lifting up off the ground into a lateral plank, hinging off this knee. This makes both sides of your glutes working at the same time. As per the previous, try and maintain core activation, nice and slow, and very slow on the down. And a final one can be a side plank where you push down through a bent elbow, trying to lift the torso up into a straight line, trying not to wobble, keeping core switched on, and then a nice progression is to then lift the leg into abduction from there. Very challenging, one for the advanced exerciser.
Once again, terrific insight from Simon Wigg there. Make sure you follow him on Facebook and Instagram if you can. He's been a long time supporter of Knox basketball, both at the domestic and Raiders level. If there's anything else you'd like us to outline or things you'd like to work on, let us know in the comments.